I'm the one that's supposed to hit the start music.
Oh.
Right? There you go. There's the start music. Now we're doing a show. I mean, only 7 episodes left until we hit episode 1000. You would think I understand. I'm the one that presses the start music. But, you know, I mean, you know, it's been 993 episodes. Maybe I'm just a little tired.
Sometimes there's a little bit of rust you got to shake off when you're doing it every day. You know what I mean? It's fine. It's okay. Good work.
Sometimes I laugh.
People come for the days like today when it's just a little late. You get that little early. I think that's why people actually stick around. It's a brand. It's a thing, you know.
It's you know, if no one will ever accuse us of not being like authentic.
I mean, just right. We're like it's Wednesday, March 12th. And we don't know how to press the start.
Yeah, but actually it's Tuesday, March 18th. Right, that's me.
Jumbled his words because he didn't know how to say big words in a sentence.
No, Kyle reads slower than his brain moves, which is why he jumbles words. He just slurs them all together. Oh my goodness. Well, listen, we had an awesome webinar.
We did.
Just what day is it? It's Tuesday. It was last week on Friday, but you can still see it. It was with Robert Blessing. And we talked just a lot about Renew Energy, and we had a great time actually because he showed my house.
It was so fun.
Well, they go around and they do solar installations, and they make the case. They actually have a great way for dealers to make money and make a commission if a customer installs charging or solar panels on the roof. And they make such a data-driven case for like, hey, here's the cheapest way you're ever going to charge your EV.
Let's just call it, for all intents and purposes, it's basically free for a consumer to install solar on their house. It's unbelievable.
It's not
actually free, but it feels like that.
It is. I mean, like when you talk about like what's your gas bill if you drive 12,000 miles a year, and like, I don't know, what are you paying? $150 a month at current prices, whatever. He's like, how does $30 sound to charge your EV at home from the sun? Sound ridiculous. Good? Great. And that includes the solar installation.
Oh my goodness.
By the way. So it's a no-brainer.
Watch the webinar.
Yeah. How do you get to that? We're just like recapping
go to
the whole webinar right
like now. Scroll down just a little bit. It's right there.
Yeah. And there, I will tell you, there's an Easter egg in there. It is an aerial photo of the back of my house with the deck. Because they did a little configuration of what my solar array would look like to charge my EV. And I am going to brag on this for a second because I was like, what timing did the Google satellite have where my deck was fully arranged just like chairs around the fire pit? It never looks like that, folks. But now it does on the webinar. You should check it out at gotosotu.com. You can still get the recording and go for it. ASOTU CON coming in hot. I mean, we're in the 50s now. Dave's left. The hotel is just about booked up. Please don't say we didn't tell you. Book your tickets now, ASOTUCON.com. The tickets are as cheap as they're going to be, and the hotel rooms in the event hotel are still available. So get them because pretty soon they won't still be available.
You'll be down the street.
But even if you miss it, down the street's not so bad because we have a sick partnership working. Are we talking about the partnership yet?
Which partnership?
Moving people around.
We're not talking about the partnership.
So close. So close to talking about a fun partnership. Okay, before I say anything else I'm not supposed to say, let's just get into some news. Sometimes it's better than others. The used car market's heating up with February retail sales jumping 16% month over month. This is the largest increase in years, while tax refunds are playing a role. Tightening inventory, especially on budget-friendly cars, is making affordability a continuing, ongoing challenge. Used vehicle supply dropped 2.18 million units in March, down from 2.23 in February. Cars priced under 15 grand have only a 30-day supply, well below the 42-day industry average. The average listing price for a used car in March was $25,006, which is a little bit down from last year. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Honda, Nissan account for over all of half of used cars, with the top 5 best-selling models listing at an average price of $23,531. So that makes sense.
Slightly under the average.
The average. Yep. February certified pre-owned sales hit 203,000 units, up from January, but still lower year over year. So
there's only one clear message. This is the clear message that I have for every single dealer that's thinking about their used car inventory right now. If this is the trend, tax season is still high, and you need to find the inventory that's going to turn fast and turn a profit. The place to do that is the service lane in your customer base, because there's no other place. You can't find it at auction. You can't find it in just waiting for trades, especially trades on new cars because of new car pricing being so high. The only way to find sub $25,000 cars, or really sub $15,000 cars that meet a budget. Look, we're looking at, we went over yesterday, average used car interest rates over 10%. When people are still looking for that $300, $400, $450 a month payment, the only way to find that payment in your used car inventory is to go source these cars out of the service drive and out of your customer base. So I would be running acquisition campaigns to your customer base right now.
Ugh.
And that'll sell you some cars in March and April. I'm just telling you.
That will.
It will.
And I'll get you the inventory.
Come back. If you do it and you get a bunch of those cars and they're sitting there on April 30th, you holler at your boy and I'll meet you at ASOTU CON. Sound good?
I mean, listen, there. Speaking of used cars and values,
Segue.
this one may be a surprise, may not be a surprise, but it also ties in with our third story today. Used Tesla prices are dropping at 3 times the rate of the overall used car market, raising concerns about demand for both new and used models. While the market as a whole is cooling, Tesla's brand challenges seem to be accelerating depreciation. Tesla's used car prices dropped 3.7% in the last 3 months, compared to just 1.12% of the broader market over the past year. Their used prices fell 7.26%, nearly triple the market average of 2.68%. So over the last year, they're tripling the market. Over the last 90 days, the Model 3 is down 4.2% just the last 90 days, and the Model Y is down 2.9%. Cybertruck down a little bit more, 11.5%.
Yeah.
But get this, Cybertruck values year over year are down. Used Cybertruck values 58%.
What?
I
That's
mean,
unbelievable. Can
sounds
you
like a
imagine
great-
having that level of like?
It
you bought
actually
that
sounds
car.
like if I'm glad I documented the whole thing. I'm like, can I make money? Well, people were flipping them in the beginning. It's so weird. A year
In the
ago, people
beginning,
they were
like that
flipping
first
them new ones for profit.
month. Yeah, absolutely.
And now, I don't know. I thought I got a great deal on the F-150 Lightning. You'd probably get an equal deal on the Cybertruck. 58% depreciation, $100,000 truck.
My
That's
goodness.
actually pretty. I mean, that's getting really close to
That's wild.
a $40,000, $100,000
Yeah.
car.
And
know.
I bet it's out there. Here's, I'm going to say this, and this is maybe anecdotal, but I think this is still a blip, right? There's broad public. We've always known the only marketing arm for Tesla is their organic social and Elon
The brand
Musk.
perception. Yep.
That's it, right? And so this is a blip, right? Elon is like high in the news, and he's going to be high probably for another 60 days, but it'll run its course at that point. And not just that, but at least in my house and my kids' friends, when they see a Tesla on the road, this is what happens. They're like, oh, a Tesla, right?
Right.
And all of
No
their
other
friends
car?
do the same thing when they're in the car. Nobody's like, oh, a Hyundai, right?
Yeah.
So
right.
I think that the younger generation that maybe doesn't have the buying power right now still has a brand perception of that brand that is so high. There's going to be staying power in this thing. However, if you're in the market right now, or if you're selling in the market right now, this is a big watch out. Make sure you know what these prices are doing, because holding these cars any amount of time is a losing proposition.
I mean, it's probably, speaking of used car affordability, you probably get one of the best deals you can, like dollar for dollar, pound for pound on a used car.
It's
With
time
a
for
Tesla.
Tesla.
Speaking of Elon Musk,
Hey?
Segue.
we have great video footage for this one, by the way.
After 9 months longer than expected, some NASA astronauts Butch, Wilmore, and Suni Williams are finally on their way home from the International Space Station, the ISS. In conjunction with that, SpaceX launched Crew 10 on Friday, docked on Sunday, and undocked and began its journey home early this morning. Originally set for an 8-day mission, their Boeing Starliner test flight faced thruster failures and delay, forcing them to stay aboard the ISS until a new crew could arrive. A little bit of technical issues, but everyone's back home. I can tell you there has been so much fanfare around this in the Middle Tennessee area, because Butch is from Mount Juliet, which is like literally 7 minutes from my house. And he went to school just about 40 minutes from here. So
Hometown hero.
Oh, massive town hero. They're like having an event for him, all this type of stuff.
Oh, yeah, that's old school. I love that.
Suni said this is my happy place. Speaking of the space station, said, I love being up here in space. It's just fun, you know?
So I think I have a couple thoughts on this, but Nathan, first, can you put the video back up and can you explain to us what we're seeing in the videos?
Let's do the video. Here we go.
Yeah, sure. So,
wait. Before we do that, Nathan is our resident space expert here.
Okay.
So just so you know,
if there's a launch, if there's a sat, he's got it streaming on another TV. Like he's our resident space nerd in general, but also a SpaceX expert.
Here we go. Hit us with it.
So
what are we seeing here?
So this is the Crew Dragon, and if you see right here, this is it on approach. The hatch is open. Now we're seeing a shot of it further on approach, and
wait, are those two people inside it?
Yeah,
they're flying it.
They're flying it. They're checking all the things. Those are two of the astronauts who are going to dock on it.
Oh my gosh.
And then our next shot here is
looks like the inside of a Tesla. Go ahead.
It's sort of, yeah, right. Kind of similar design cues, you might say. This shot here is of what you're seeing on the left is the Crew Dragon capsule as it approaches, and the view on the right is the ISS docking mechanism. It's actually cool because it kind of feels like you're looking at something out of Interstellar, but this is real. This is actually real space. This is how they dock in space. So I think at this point they were like 5 meters away from each other.
Do they play the organ music the moment it docks?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
They should.
And then your next shot here is you're seeing the 4 astronauts exit the Dragon capsule and greet all the people on space, and then there's a final shot of everybody together.
So the capsule had 7 people in it, and they picked up 4 astronauts.
So they launched 4 astronauts to the space station. There were 6 already there.
Oh, okay. So the 4 picked up the 6. Right. I'll tell you, the 6 people look like they work for Allstate or State Farm.
State Farm.
They got khakis and red polos. I'm saying, for being stuck up there, they look really great.
Great. Yeah. They probably work out. I mean, they're fit as a fiddle.
What an opportunity for NASCAR level sponsorships. Like, put some patches on those jerseys.
I mean,
and let them go for it. Listen, here's the crazy dichotomy of all this. We just went to outer space. Well, these astronauts were trapped, and Elon Musk.
Technically not.
They were trapped. They could just come home whenever they wanted.
This is a misconception. There were, if they had needed to get home, there were ways they could have get home. It would not have been fun, but it was not like the big crazy thing that everyone made it out to be. They just had to stay in space longer than they needed to.
That's it. You just have to
stay. You just had to stay up in
cold vacuum that could crush you any moment.
Technically, Paul, there was one time when you and I were trapped in this sort of resorty place, a Mitsubishi Mirage in a resorty place, and we could have gotten home, right?
I have a feeling their experience was different than ours.
Space is kind of like a resorty place, you know.
But here's what you get great views. Like, we could sell this Airbnb. So here's what I think of when I look at this. First of all, it's freaking amazing that a private company built a spacecraft over many years that can just go pick up people from the space station.
Wow.
And so like last year, I think it was, when was Elon was like, let us go get him, right? Like when it all fell apart. When did he say that?
Yeah. So a little bit of background on this. They flew up on a Boeing Starliner, and it was the first crewed test of that vehicle. Anyways, They got up there, had a couple issues on the way, and they were like, NASA was basically like, look, we don't think we should send you home on it. Right. Yeah. Now the Starliner did come back okay, so they would have been fine if they had come home on it. But yeah, then Elon was like, let me go get him, and it sort of turned into this whole big political thing.
Had that craft ever gone and done that before?
It had done it uncrewed, and this is the first crewed mission of it. So that's the way that they test it. They do a bunch of testing, and then they do an uncrewed demonstration and a crewed demonstration.
So what I'm saying, if there's one person, so like obviously if you've ever watched Elon during launches and things like that, right? It's a big ordeal. Obviously, he built this from the ground up. And so when Elon's like, hey, your Model Ys are dropping faster than the rest of the used car market. He's like, I don't know. I'm picking some people up from space today.
I don't know. I think we're going to be fine. Yeah,
I know.
He's going to be fine.
Look, we'll say it. We say again. the dealers will solve the problems. The dealers
That's
always
it.
solve the problems because that's
Car
what
people
dealers do.
solve problems.
They solve problems. Get out there, solve some problems, care about some people. We will see here tomorrow morning. We'll cue the music right next time.